Okay, so Smith machine shoulder press, one of the many variations that we can use to target the anterior deltoid, so the front part of the shoulder. Now, again, in terms of setup considerations, the first thing that we want to be thinking about is the angle of the bench. Typically, a common mistake that we see is that people decide to choose a more upright, vertical bench, and for the majority of people, they aren't going to have the range of motion available at their shoulders to be able to perform that safely and efficiently. So it's important to be able to assess your range of motion here and then to choose the angle of inclination wisely. And typically for most people, it's going to be around about 70 to 60 degrees of an angle. Now, I set up the bench to suit Jake, but what we're going to do at this stage is we're now going to assess what he has available through the particular movement. So Jake, if you can just bring your arms and hands up to the bar. Now, what I'm going to get Jake to do is simply imitate the movement downward. So I want him to bring his elbows down. We're going to keep the elbows slightly forward just so that they line up nicely with the angle of the shoulder blade. And I just want you to, again, just come down as far as you can for us, Jake. So whilst we're doing this, we're still keeping the lower back pressed down. We're still pushing these hips back into the seat. And what I'm looking for is to make sure that this shoulder doesn't roll forward, that we keep the integrity of the position, and that when he comes down, is that as far as you can go, mate? Yeah. That when he's in this position, that if I push up, I want you to push down for me, that he's still got some strength there. And if I push down, I want you to push up. Again, that he's still got some strength in that bottom range. Now, if you take hold of the bar for us, bud, and just perform a couple of reps for me there. So in this position, when he's coming down, he's thinking about making sure that the elbows are staying underneath the wrist. Now, what I am going to get you to do is just move this hand a little bit outward for me, mate. That's it. So that the elbow is always positioned beneath the wrist. That's a nice, strong position for him to be pressing through. Obviously, I'm making sure that he's not exceeding this range that we've just assessed, and that when he's performing the movement, that he's still pushing his back against the seat, because of course, if we allow for an arch, which you see again is a common mistake, that will change the angle of his sternum, and that's potentially going to change and alter the bias of the particular exercise and what we're trying to work. If you want to just press through there for us, mate. So he's driving through, and now when he's driving through, he's thinking about driving the biceps closer towards the earlobe so that we get a shortened contraction of this particular muscle. Just once more for me, mate. So controlling it away, controlling those elbows away, keeping the elbow beneath the wrist, coming into his range of motion at the bottom, and then driving through, bringing the biceps towards the earlobe. And that's our Smith machine shoulder press.